Replit.com. And this will work in your mobile browser because it's not a software that you need to download. So it will work on your computer or your laptop as well. So when you go here, you can sign in with your Google account, all right? That allows you to save the work for future reference. But let me just go ahead and click start coding, right? You can do the sign up yourself when you have when you're ready to do so.
Replit.com, right?
Yeah, Replit.com. All right, so you can sign up with Google. It's absolutely free. Yeah. And I like to use it for testing programs. I think I use it more than even the IDE on my computer, even though I had access to software on my computer for coding. But it was so quick and easy to use, and because I could access it from any browser, that I liked using it more than the IDE. But you need to use the tools. I'm going to talk about that in a second because for all the students, there are a few tips I want to share with you so that you understand how important it is to learn to use your tools to the best of your ability. Okay, let me save this here. Oh, okay, it wants to confirm if it's really me. Yeah, this is just Google's protection acting up. So let me just tap OK. Yes, this is me. All right, great. So it should be signing me in. Oh, all right. Okay, there we go. All right, so when you get to the page, you look for something that says create. You see that it's in two spots here. So you have create here, you have create up here, okay? All right, and then when you click on create, it'll ask you to look for a template. So you don't want Java, so you just click on Java and then you can create it. I have one here created already, so let me just open this up and show you what it looks like.
Okay.
Is everybody seeing my screen fine? I should have asked before.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I know that this may be Java code for those who are doing Python, but the idea is the same, that you can run programs here. So I'll go ahead and just run this. Usually you see a little button that looks like a play button. And if the code has no errors, then it will do whatever is expected in the program. Let's see, this is supposed to display something. Okay, so it displayed the message on the screen that I typed here. Now, just for you doing Java, you'll have to call your class main for the code to work, because for some reason, Replit just allows you to just use a main.java. But what I did to submit my work, so of course, you know, in your assignment, the class was called Superpower. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
So yes. What you do is that after you run the program and it gets the output on the screen, just change the name here from main to the one that the assignment says, and then you can copy this code and send this as a file when you're submitting your work. So that's the trick that I used, okay?
Okay.
Right, but in order for the program to run, you have to name it main. So as long as you remember that, then you'll be fine, okay? But when you're submitting your work, so let's say, for example, that you are submitting this assignment, okay? Let me show you what you would do. So you would copy the code, if that's what you need to do, and then you can open a Google Doc. Okay.
Is that just the requested code for the assignment?
Yeah, and then you print the code in. And any other screenshots? If you want to take a screenshot, you can do that as well. All right. So if you're doing a Java program, for those doing Java, it's a similar process. So let me go back to the Replit menu and go and create. So you'd look for Python, and you just click Create REPL here. So you can use this for Python. It works fine without any issues. There was a particular issue with Java that I had to mention before, but when you're doing Python, you can just type your code pretty easily, and it will run for you without a problem. So I really recommend using this platform for testing your code. You can use it for everything, actually, but it's very handy for testing. So if I click run here, okay, so there's an error. Great. So I get something to debug. All right. Let's change that there. Let's try to run this again. Okay, I had a capital P. So that was actually a syntax error. Okay, for those of you who had that assignment. It also has a shell here, a console, so you can, if you look over on the right, of the screen where the black part is, if I run the shell code, like I could say 3 plus 3, you see it will give me 6, okay? So you can
Yes.
use the console over on this side here as something you can do. Okay, but back to your question. Did I answer your question about how you could use your mobile phone?
Yeah, exactly. Please, can you quickly go back to your code of Java?
To the code? Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Let's
so I
go
can
back to that.
screenshot it.
Yeah, of course, this is just a small example of the Java program. I don't think it was a complete program by any means. So just remember that, okay?
All right.
Okay, if you're using your mobile device to view this, you can use your 2 fingers on the screen to zoom in if you want to see the words a little easier. So I'm not sure if anybody that's listening to me knows about that trick. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
if you're watching on your mobile phone or tablet, you can use your thumb and your index finger to how do I show you how to do this?
Yeah, yeah. And the quality is fine. It
Yeah,
doesn't mess up the
if you know
quality.
how to zoom a screen on a phone, you use your 2 fingers and you spread them apart, and it will make the screen look bigger. It's a little trick you can use on mobile. Yeah, so here's the code here. Let me just kind of make it a little easier to read by just stretching the screen out a bit, so it looks a little bit more organized. Right, of course, the assignment is a lot more than this, but this was just an example to show you how you put a Java program on using replit.com.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Now, I'd like to tell everybody here that the ideal way for you to work is to use your IDE. Now, I have 3 examples here. So this is the Eclipse that the Java students are using for 1102. For 1101, you can use PyCharm for Python. By the way, if you want to just use Replit.com, it's fine. It will do all the code and it will give you all the output just the same. But if you want to get practice working like an actual developer, then you can download PyCharm. There's a free edition, and it's available for Windows and Linux in case there's anybody that uses Linux or Mac. Let me just try to open it up here. Or maybe I should have closed Eclipse first. Okay, this is Eclipse. I did open before. Maybe I should close it just to save some, so that we will run it faster here. Oh, it's actually the first time I'm launching the PyCharm since I installed it. So let me just click I confirm and continue. All right. So it's nice if you use these tools and get used to learning how to use tools that the professionals would actually use to write their code. But for the purpose of your assignments, you can just use Replit. That's fine because you can copy the code and the screenshots just as much as you need to using replit.com. It's still Python, okay? It's just that it's online and not using a desktop IDE like PyCharm here that I'm showing you here. It's just taking a few minutes to come up. Let me just see if I can close any other browsers that may be running. Okay, I'll close this for a second here. I'm not using this right now. Let me minimize that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let me just use a free trial. Okay, where does it want me to? Do I have to log in? Seems they've made a few changes since the last time I tried to use the software. Okay, let me obtain and activate a license to continue using PyCharm. Exit, yes. Okay. Whoa, it closed everything. All right, let's see if I can just open this again one time. If you have any questions, you can let me know while I'm doing the screen share. It's been a while since I've used PyCharm. Well, I've had an older one installed before, but this is a new desktop install here. So I'm not sure what's happening with that there. Okay. In the meantime, I'll just introduce you to this other one while that works. So Visual Studio Code is an IDE that you can use for multiple languages. So you can use it with Java or you can use it with Python. I'm only introducing these to you because these are actually popular tools and you can actually use them in your university coursework. The thing with Visual Studio Code is that it can do just about any language that you want. So it's really pretty nice. So The thing about all IDEs is that they always have a menu, like you have file, edit, and so on, all right? Well, let me just get straight to the point. So if you wanted to use this with Python, what you'd have to do is after you install it, you'd have to go where it says extensions, and then you would type in Python. So unlike with PyCharm, it doesn't come configured to use um, Python out of the box. So here we go, Python by Microsoft, and you click install to install it. Again, you don't have to use this. I'm just trying to introduce you to some other IDEs for coding, which you may want to, have some fun and try to experiment with it. Okay, it says it's installing. I'll come back to that later if it is still installing. Another resource I want to show you that you can use is w3schools.com. Because they have built-in IDEs, you can also practice code and learn code here. Let me just go back to the main page and just show you what it looks like. So you can sort of use a site similar to replit.com in a sense. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say you're using it for Python, okay? You click on Learn Python. All right, let's say we wanted to use something with variables, okay? And here is this example. You click on the button that says try it yourself. And no matter which one of the try it yourself buttons you use, you can use it as a totally open environment for coding. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let me see if the Visual Studio Code is still installed. Okay, still installing the Python. Okay. Okay, it's taking a while to load. So it's gonna work kind of similar to replit.com, which you see over here. So I'm just showing you this other online ID. All right, so here we go. So as you can see here, there is the Python code, and this is actually something that's live. So for example, if I change the name of this variable here, all right, and let me call it Kelly, you there? All right. Let me call it Kelly, okay? You see when I click run here, you see it updates to Kelly, or if I, so you see the code is working there. Or if I choose Mohammed, it would update. So it's just like a coding environment as well. So not just for doing the actual lesson that you want to research on, okay, but you can use it as a coding environment. So you could actually type a full Python code here. And click run. Let me see if my syntax was correct. Okay, yeah, syntax was correct. Oh, well, I think you get the idea. Let me not add any more code. I think you get the idea. So you can use w3schools.com to give your practice with programming, as well as to use as a coding environment by using the try it yourself button on any of the examples that they give you. And you can just change what they had there and totally create whatever you want. You can type whatever you want there. It's the same for Java. If you get to the Java, let me go back to the home. If you go to the Java section, you can do that as well. Oh, yeah, there we go, Java. And you might find this a pretty easy way to use a mobile phone to code as well, because this will work on mobile as well, okay? So it will work on a desktop, laptop, and it will work on mobile as well. So here we have an example of a simple hello world printing in Java. And just like with the example with the Python over here, you can also use this W3 School online coding environment to actually do full out coding. So I can just change the word just to show you that it actually will run and compile. So we'll change it from hello world to welcome. All right, there we go. All right, so there you've seen a couple tools here. Is Visual Studio Code ready for me yet? Okay, I think it's actually installed. All right, so let me go ahead and create a Python file with this. All right, let me get rid of some of these other screens here so I don't confuse you with this. So let me see if I can, I really, let me be honest with you, I really don't use Visual Studio Code for coding Python. So let me hope this works. Let me give the file a name, of course. File, save as, let me call it demo.py. Save it on the desktop. All right, can you still see my screen, everybody? You can type yes if you don't want to unmute your mic.
Sure.
Okay, all right. All right, let me see now. And I think the run button is over here. Oh, and there it goes. All right, so it prints, see, it does the output right here. Okay, so this is me using Python in Visual Studio Code. All right. Maybe I'll do a video on YouTube video on more about talking about using this to actually do complete programs. But I like to use Replit.com in my YouTube videos because it's easily accessible by anyone without having to install anything on a computer if they don't want to or so. But it can be pretty fun to use these environments. All right, so I think that's enough for my tips. That's what I really wanted to share if there weren't too many questions. So yeah, so I introduce you to oh, and now that I actually created the file in Visual Studio Code, I can actually open that Python file in PyCharm because it recognized the file extension. Let me see what happens when I try to load it that way. So you notice that it started, it came up with the Python logo because I saved it with the .py file name. So that's why it's recognized as a PyCharm readable document. All right, and I show you W3 schools as well. Hopefully you made a note of that website. Let me just close this for now. And let me also close Visual Studio Code since I'm not using that anymore. Yeah, so hopefully those, all right, so let me, oh yeah, you have to say trust project. Guess it's trying to protect you from anything that might be malicious. Yeah, any other questions while I wait for the screen to load? Check the chat, see if there was anything in the chat area.
All right, so
Okay,
I've
Naomi,
already
did you
I've
have a
already
question?
tried Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
Reddit.com.
moment, just a moment. Oh, Naomi was just saying yes, maybe to the question if my screen share was working. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I said I've already gone to Reddit.com and started my Java project. Well, I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I can share my screen if you like to show
Okay,
you
just a
my.
moment. Let me just get this up and ready. Okay, this is the PyCharm IDE. So it finally decided to load. So as you can see, most IDEs will have similar features. They have a menu bar here, and you should see the code screen loading shortly to show you the editor where you can type your Python code inside of the PyCharm editor. Of course, for this to work, you would have to install Python before this. So Python is the actual language, and then these IDEs are just tools that help you to run the code. All right, I'm not going to fool around with this too much right now. I think you get the idea that you can sign up with this if you want to use PyCharm. It's just that with using PyCharm, you don't really have to configure anything much to use the code, unlike with VS Code. But people usually have a favorite that they want. Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen because I don't think the other persons have any questions. We have about 8 minutes to go, so you can go ahead and share your screen. I don't think you need any permissions from me to do that. I think you have permissions, but let me stop sharing my screen. And allow you to go ahead. So you can go ahead.
All right. So okay. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So this simple code. So when I run it, I'm getting an error.
All right, did you click on run?
Yes.
I'm not seeing an error just yet.
I know it's not even
Okay,
running at all.
so for the students that may be doing Python, it's good for you to pay attention to this because you can learn some general rules about programming. I think I see some errors in your code right away. Just go back to the code screen. Let's fix them. All right, now I don't know if you can, or you probably can't widen your screen, so it's gonna look a little bit because it's on a mobile. I think your phone battery is dying as well. You see at the end of the to the rescue.
Okay,
Let's
you said
see here. Okay, no, I think that's fine. System.out.println. Wait. Are you trying to run it again? I was trying to read the code. You don't have a
okay.
semicolon. You have a colon. So you see where you have the last bracket.
Yes.
Change that colon to a semicolon.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Now in Python, for those of you doing Python, Python doesn't need semicolons, but you can actually use them because it prepares you in the future for courses like Java. So you can actually use a semicolon at the end of a statement. Go ahead and run this. Let's see if this works.
I don't know why it's taking so long to run.
Yeah, I think your phone battery is dying though, so this may disconnect you, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So if you don't have a power bank or something nearby, you might not have much time left. Or hopefully you can recharge it soon. And by the way, if you get a bad grade on a discussion forum project, please don't worry about it. Even if you miss one altogether, because a single discussion forum assignment is worth about 2 point something% out of 100 of your entire grade for the term. Now, it still should be important to you, right? Because everything adds up. But you won't fail a course because you failed one discussion assignment, okay? So let me just
okay.
Okay, I'm not sure why that's not printing, but if you could share the link to your code, then I can test it on my end. Do you know how to do that?
All right. Yeah, I should.
Yeah, you just need to, you see where you see that share icon? You see where you see the share icon or the copy icon? You can use that and then go into the chat. You had it in front of you. You don't need to change the screen. You see right there, you have the share icon.
Right there, you have the share icon.
And you can just go to your Google Meet.
And you can just go to your Google Meet.
Okay.
And you can paste it in the chat so we can see it.
You can paste it in the chat so we could see it.
Okay, I don't know if your battery is dying.
Okay, I don't know if your battery is dying.
Yeah, I'm charging it already.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, for everybody else, is there anything that you wanted to comment about?
Is there anything that you wanted to comment about?
You can type a message in the chat while we're waiting for this screen to come up. I think you can just use copy and then go to Google Meet. I don't think you're going to send us an app. Did you join it through our web browser?
No, I joined to my phone.
Yeah, then just click on copy. You see the icon that says copy?
Yeah,
just click on copy and then find where the Google Meet.
Can I paste it in the chat?
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying, to paste it in the chat.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay, JavaScript is used for web pages.
JavaScript is used for web pages.
And for apps on the web, okay? It's a totally different language. It just has a kind of a similar name, but it's really a different language. Okay, I see a Replit now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your screen. Because I'm going to show you something very interesting, okay? We can actually edit the same file together. And you'll actually even see while I'm typing. Let me share my screen one more time. let's see here. Nope, I don't want to share. Let me see. Go back here. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. All right, so I just clicked on the link that you sent to us in the chat. And right, so I can actually try to run it. Okay, it actually runs. So maybe it's just something with the phone that it's moving a bit slow because I didn't make any changes to it and it worked without any issues.